Let's go, T. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. Oh, killer. Killer T. Hey, hey, hey. Nice. Top 10 in Canada, baby. Let's go.
But first, a little context. This was an excerpt from my 2024 Squamish race blog. In my self-pity, I rethought my whole training blog, my whole life. What am I doing out here? What kind of la la land was I living in to ever think I could be top 3? I already was second guessing my plans for next year. Would it even be a smart idea to race the Canadian Championships again at QMT? Would I crack under the pressure again? Would I completely ruin my love for trail racing? I didn't want to ever race again. I didn't want to exist. Now I had created this narrative in my head that I couldn't do well in high pressure scenarios. Started back in here when I was trying to qualify for offset out of cross country, and when I slipped out of the top 3 position, I just dropped out. And then again, I doubted myself at the half marathon championships in Montreal 2 years in a row, and the 10K championships 2 years in a row as well. And worst of all was my 2024 Squamish, where I ran across the line crying because I was so disappointed after proclaiming for months and months that I would go be top 3. Now, 2024 was over-focused on outcome-based goals. Getting on the podium at a Canadian Championships has always been one of my dreams. Squamish, BC for the Canadian Championships. My goal will be top 3 for that race. I had my big goals of being in the top 3 and generally like a more realistic goal of being in the top 10. And in the end, I placed 17th female, but I was hoping to do a lot better. In 2025, I set out to rewire this mindset by working with a sports psychologist. Together, we focus on process-based goals in a way that I could be successful on any given day, regardless of the performance my body decided to give me, and regardless of who else showed up. We made sure to focus on the whys, why I was racing, why I was training, why did I run? And my biggest why for 2025 was to rewrite the narrative that I don't do well at Canadian Championships, that I will fold under the pressure of bigger races. That became my ultimate goal, to prove to myself that I could do it. I own my own story, and I choose what plays out. They can try to beat me, but they will have to be one tough son of a bitch to do so. Now, back to the present. On Thursday, July 3rd, we traveled 10 hours to just outside of Quebec City. And pretty quickly, I threw on my shoes to go do a little shakeout along the race course.
Out here chasing some more waterfalls. Let's go.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Tanis vlog without waterfalls. I went backwards along the last 5K of the course to familiarize myself with the footing and the directions and the course marking. Even then, finding one place I probably would have went the wrong way. I also did 200 plus stairs, which maybe wasn't the best idea, but let me see the waterfall. On the next day, July 4th, I headed out on the final part of the course to really check out the finishing chute.
So we're heading out on another shakeout run day before the race. So time to go hit 80K tomorrow. Yesterday I went and saw a waterfall, and that was pretty epic. So that waterfall is actually 5K from the finish, so I'll be able to see that one more time in my race. So, this is part of the finish. Over there, towards the waterfall. And we cross over the road. Yeah. So maybe we'll check it out. Oh my god, it's windy today. So, So this section is pretty paved and flat. So T's road speed must be used. Look at this. What a way to mountain bike to the course. That's hilarious. That ran along. Oh, what the? Okay. Some people will come from this way. That must be for 50K and 135, maybe in 25. But I obviously come as here. Gotta find the tangent. Let's find the tangent.
And I'm glad I did, because on this section, a few people I knew went the wrong way. So I'm glad that I didn't have to worry about that during my race. Now, right here, I kind of did go the wrong way. So I was hoping on race day it would be marked a little better, and it was fine.
This that is confusing. I'm certain I go this way. I know my finish stays really close to the bottom. Could be a little bit up there. I think I kind of just go there. That looks like what the finish is.
And of course, you got to do a photo op with the finish line.
I'm so lucky to be out here again. 3 years ago, I came, actually it was when I initially hurt my hamstring the very first time. And I remember doing a run today, on this day, the day before the race, and being in so much pain I could barely do it. And then on race day, I didn't feel it at all. It kind of gives me some faith that I'll be good for tomorrow. Obviously it's going to be really hard. But now I've done the whole ending and I can really visualize that strong finish. So I'm looking forward to that. Basically this season's been about getting back to the basics of enjoying this. Last year I got a little bit caught up in being oh, I have to do really well. And that's just silly because obviously I'm out here, I'm an elite runner. I'm in the top 1 percentile of people in the world doing this. So of course that's doing well. So it's really, what's my definition then? There is no perfect performance. I'm always going to be oh, I could have maybe done better. Basically my main goal this time, instead of having a placing goal, it's to be proud of the run I'm doing, get everything I have on that day, and who knows what I'm going to get on that day. So I'm just going to show up and see what happens. But I'm going to check in with myself throughout the race and make sure that I'm giving myself my 100% effort and that I'm doing the best I can, because really, what other control do I have over this race? So here's the beautiful Mount St. Anne. I'll be back here later for some bib pickup, and then I'll sort my bottles and get ready to go. Second time ever doing 80, my first time was at Squamish, and I remember getting the 50K saying oh, that's good enough, that's far enough. But I think 80 has a little more meaning to me this time because I'm going to be doing 100 in September, so I know that I'm going to be gutting this out no matter how it goes, because I need that experience to be able to do 100K. So I'm thankful to have my crew here. They're going to help me out and keep me cool, keep me hydrated, give me some freezies and some ice. So that will be the plan. And then, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Probably about 11 hours, but could be 12, could be 11 and a half, could be 13, who knows? So I'm just going to go out there and do my best and be proud of that. Actually, yesterday when I went to the waterfall, I reminded myself why I do this in the first place. I really love being in nature and exploring and just being out in the woods for hours. It's so relaxing. I just enjoy being outside, and if I get to run at the same time, bonus. So yeah, I'm just gonna go have some fun.
So now that I was mentally and physically ready to go, all that was left to do was race.
Let's go eat breakfast.
Now, Quebec Mega Trail is a point-to-point, my favorite style of race. Starting in Petite Rivière, Saint Francois, finishing at Mount Saint Anne, the course wound along the St. Lawrence River with a few road sections mixed in. And race morning, I had my husband Josh and my friends Tyler and Evan there. The start line was so beautiful along a port with the most amazing sunrise. I hid amongst the other elites at the start line, trying not to draw too much attention to myself, while I looked for a few other Ontario boys that I knew that were racing. And before we knew it, we were off, and my crew was excited.
Let's go, Philippe. Let's go, Philippe. Go, guys. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. Let's go, team. Let's go, boy.
Now, I would see them twice for this race, at 15K and at 57K. Now, the first crew to aid station, I was a bit flustered because I just climbed 900 meters within that 15K. So I was pretty tired. They handed me new bottles with electrolyte, gels that would last me the next 6 hours, as well as some ice for my hat and a freezy. Now, I did have to retie my shoes here as the mud was already loosening them for the day. And just like that, I was off, and it would be another 6 hours before I'd see my crew again.
Let's go, T. You got this. See you at 57K.
This is a really good opportunity to highlight what crews do for us elite runners. They are so important. Now, you could do it by yourself, but it's so much harder. And it's always amazing to have people that you look forward to seeing. It's a good motivator and keeps you wanting to push hard the whole way through.
Awesome job!
Now here you can see the crew had shoes and socks ready for me, salty foods as I was getting sick of the sugar, water to cool me off, ice to cool me off, and anything else that I would need. I was going back and forth here, trying to decide if I was going to change my shoes and socks, as they were soaked and muddy. I could feel my blisters starting to rub a bit.
Not long.
And And one of the other important things about crewing is to get recon about where the rest of the racers are. Now, I was focused on process goals, but that doesn't mean that I'm not here to compete. I'm still going to push and try to catch women that are around me and try not to be caught myself, but I'm going to do that in the context of focusing on my own race and doing what seems reasonable at the time and not putting myself too far out to go catch someone. But I knew I definitely had a few people around me.
Did you?
Now this is my throwback to Harricana 2023 when I was just covered in mud and joked that it was pretty much Shrek swamp out there.
Congratulations, T.
I now know where Shrek lives.
Now I did have each individual toe tape, that generally works pretty well for me, but I had been in mud for 8+ hours, so it just wasn't staying on anymore. So we swapped that out. It was definitely worth a shoe change as I was able to keep my feet dry for the rest of the day as we went on to a road section and much drier trails, including the nasty, gnarly, rocky Machu Picchu. After this, they'd be waiting for me for the next 4 hours as I crawled through Machu Picchu trying not to die on the gnarly rocky section.
Let's go, T.
I was ecstatic for a race that went really well, for a race that I stayed mentally strong in, and a redemption curve after last year's Tear Fest of being 17th.
Nice. Top 10 in Canada, dude. Let's go.
Pretty good turnaround, top 10 in Canada, 9th or 8th if you take the American out, and whereas last year I was 17th. So it's pretty cool to see what you can do when you focus on the right things. I hope that I can keep carrying this mindset forwards and carry it through and not get caught in that comparison trap again, both comparison to myself and comparison to others. Thanks for watching.